And we also know many organizations have different levels of security controls and requirements they're expected to have in place, such as HIPAA, GOBA, many others. Your IT general control testing or IT audit is meant to test your ability to comply with those things. So if you haven't worked with any type of consulting in the past, make sure you're engaging, because they're not meant to come in there and do an IT audit and throw you under the bus. They're meant to come in there and help you identify and close controls, or poor controls. That's kind of the whole point there. They're generally considered consulting engagements, and that's what you need. You need a partner in the trenches with you, not somebody that you feel like is just there to beat you up. And then your pen testing, if you haven't done any type of penetration testing, that's going to assess the ability of your infrastructure devices to kind of defend against some of these attacks. The results of these will affect the risk assessment and the policy. So kind of how we look at that process here is you're going to perform your risk assessment. You identify the new controls and you update policies to enforce the new controls. And then you're going to implement those controls and make sure that we're now aligning with the new policy. Once that's all said and done, you're going to walk through your general control testing and do your pen testing, and we're going to identify those gaps. So once we're done with those gaps, we're back at the beginning of this again. We have to better enhance that risk assessment or the control that's in that risk assessment to reduce that risk or help close that gap. That's going to change the policy again, and you're going to continue this cycle. For most organizations, this is an annual cycle. There's some larger organizations that do 2 IT control tests a year and 2 pen tests a year. It's whatever fits your risk appetite. There's no really right or wrong foundational answer here. It really depends on your organization style, type, and risk and data. But as it was stated earlier, none of us live without IT anymore. IT runs every part of our life. It doesn't matter what company you're in nowadays. You're scheduling. Even our lawnmower, our lawn care guy, he schedules everything on his phone. So what happens if you lose the phone? What if you
Yeah.
don't have that?
What happens
How
if
do
the
you
app
keep up?
goes down?
Yeah,
Like when
exactly.
AWS
So
has an outage and you can't get on
right.
Shopify or something like that.
Best thing I always come up with is, what do you do, or what did you do as a kid, or even an adult, when you lose power during a storm? TV's not working. None of those things are working. So imagine having a ransomware attack and everything you're relying on to function
Hmm.
inside your house or your business is no longer operational. What does that do? And if
Yeah.
we can, I don't like using the word prevent, but if there's controls we can put in place to reduce the risk of these events, that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Um, so,
And I think the cycle that you have up here on the screen ties into the goal we have for DOF. Our goal in 2024 is to, I guess, sort of aggressively putting into digital transformation as a concept and have everybody that we work with move to the concept of continuous transformation. And that cycle that you have up there on the screen is about continuous transformation. Many of these things that we can do to, like you said, reduce our risk, there may be an upfront cost, but the cost of maintaining and managing can be a lot smaller. It'll take time, it'll take effort, it'll take commitment, but you're not necessarily looking at constantly taking out your wallet and spending money to just simply pay attention to the things that are most important, to the risks that are, most concerning for you. So we really want to make sure that we are a part of helping our customers to move in a direction where they are constantly paying attention to those things that are small but important. We can't just look at cybersecurity as we're buying a SIM. We care about cybersecurity because after you purchase that and after it's set up, how much do you care? That's I think where digital transformation leaves most people is that they care about the technology, they care about its performance, its impact, and how to support it during and around the purchase, during and around the setup. And as soon as that's finished, concern plummets drastically.
yeah, it is very much a continuous process. And I always say there is no light at the end of the information security tunnel. There's no light at the end of the cybersecurity tunnel. It as soon as we close the gap, your attackers, your hackers, they're very intelligent people. They're constantly
Mhm.
doing homework, and we have to do everything we can to keep up because we're
Yeah,
very much responding to them a lot of times for sure. So,
definitely.
but I think just making it continuous, especially that risk assessment process, I think you're going to see overall maturity of your organization increase.